Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing my comic load for the week. Now I have to apologize, I haven't got a comic load video up the past 2 weeks. I believe it's the past 2 weeks, mainly because there's a lot of stuff going on in my life personally and professionally, so I can go over that a bit more in detail once everything is resolved, but it's just been a crazy past month for your boy here, so I apologize I didn't get them up on a regular basis that I've been doing since I've kind of restarted the channel, but I will endeavor to keep on doing that. I'm also going to sometime this week post up my Batman timeline video, and we'll go from there on that. Unfortunately, this week I didn't get to read all my comics. Buffy and Angel I both did not get to, so sucks to suck, but I guess I'll read them later. So, with that said, if you guys want to, you can support my channel by going down to the link below. There's a Patreon account there, and anything you donate to this channel is going to go right into this channel and support this channel. I make enough money on my own to support my family, and to this to make this channel better and to make things, well, better content, more content, maybe better programming, better camera, all that fun jazz. So, again, thank you for everyone that has supported me through Patreon so far. You guys rock. I appreciate it. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can go down to the link below. However, I'm not going to lie, I haven't really been posting anything on Twitter. I've really been doing more on Instagram, so yeah. With that said, we're going to go right into the comic load for this week, and we might as well start where we always start, with a little bit of Batman in our life, with Detective Comics, issue number 957. I actually have to look at the issue number every time with Detective Comics because it goes back to its original numbering. This is kind of a spoiler, no spoilers intended, but a spoiler issue, and she is the primary focus. You see none of Batman, I don't believe, and you don't see any of the rest of the Bat family in this. It's all spoiler, and we're dealing with the Wraith, or the Wrath, which is an old-school Batman villain that then got revamped in the New 52, and he's come back in this issue. Basically what he is back in the day they did a story where what would happen if Batman's life took that one turn in the direction of crime rather than the direction of heroism. Kind of a standard status quo story that is done often. You know, when you have a villain, you either have the foil or you have the dark reflection. You know, the foil is something like Joker. Joker is someone that is the opposite of Batman. Chaos to law and order. Evil to good. You know, murder to no kill. Like, all that fun little stuff. You know, Joker's very colorful and bombastic. Batman's very dark and sticks to dark colors, and that's the, you know, the contrast between the two. That's the opposites, the foil. However, the dark reflection villain is often a dark reflection of the individual. And this is a great example of it because it's basically Batman. If he had all his money, if he had all his, you know, all this wealth and all this technology and all this training, but he did it for crime and for war. But it's not Batman that he goes up against, it's actually the spoiler. And this is to kind of build off on the new direction that Stephanie is going, which is basically in the route of being an anti-vigilante, which is funny because she goes out and she saves lives here. So she's basically vigilanteing, but she's an anti-vigilante. It's kind of confusing on exactly how spoiler is going with her things. She's kind of hurting the heroes and the villains at the same time. I get the idea of the direction that they want to go with the character, but this feels kind of awkward because at the same time she's doing exactly what Batman's doing and is vigilanteing around. In saying that, this issue was a good issue. It is not the best issue that we've had at Detective Comics. I feel as though there were stronger parts to the runs in previous issues, probably because I think Stephanie's direction is not one I necessarily agree with. In addition to that, I think the villain was underutilized. I hope that they do more with him in the future, but I think this is a one and done for his character here. Pick this up if you like to, but it's not absolutely necessary. with that said, we're going to stay into the Batman universe, and we're going to do Batgirl issue number 11. This is dealing with the Penguin's son. And this is actually a nice resolve to a story arc that I really wasn't too invested in. But like I said, it resolved pretty good. You get everyone kind of looking pretty badass in this, as well as the Penguin himself, which has a really great moment at the end of it. The art is really good, and I liked the tone of this comic. I think ever since we came back to Burnside, I think the Batgirl comic has only become better. So, if you're a fan of Batgirl, I recommend picking up maybe the last few issues so you can get this story arc. If you were wondering if you should keep it or drop it, I recommend keeping it because this was pretty fun. Batman and the Shadow, issue number 2 of, 6? Yeah, 6. So this is done by Snyder and Orlando, and I can't tell if this... It's kind of odd on how this comic is portrayed, because it's like, you know how with most crossover comics they try to make it so it's like the in-continuity version of the, the crossover, like Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they meet from an extra dimensional portal. But this treats it as though the Shadow was always part of the DC universe. Not like he just traveled there through a portal. In saying that, putting all continuity aside, or whether or not it's canon or not, because who really cares, it's a crossover between the two. And I think this was a much better issue than the first one. The plot I really still don't care too much about, but I do like the dynamic between the Shadow and Batman. I think the Shadow gets a little bit more time in this, which is good. He wasn't utilized as strongly as Batman was in the first issue. And the contrast between the two, kind of getting one-ups on each other, is really fun also. This is a good side story if you're a fan of either which character. I like the Shadow. I have not looked into the Shadow as much as I have with other characters. I know he's in Dynamite right now, and I haven't picked up any series in Dynamite. It's kind of read stuff here and there, and I know there was a movie way back in the day with, I think, Alec Baldwin, but yeah, I'm not the biggest Shadow fan. I like him. I just have never committed to him, but pick this up. Last of the Batman stuff is going to be Batman Beyond issue number 8, Rise of the Demon. So we learn a little bit more about this Batman suit that's being used right here, a prototype suit, I forget what it's called. But the long and short of it, the suit basically makes it so... It's kind of like the armor that, Guts wears from Berserker. It's like it makes it so that the person doesn't feel pain. It forces them to continue to go and keep on fighting, do whatever needs to be done to complete the mission. It's basically like a suicide suit, if necessary. And we learn that the demon's head is back, but not exactly what you may think. And basically... Batman, Terry McGinnis, has to go up against this demon head. Exactly how things will unfold, you'll just have to wait and see. I think the Batman Beyond book has done a very good job at becoming more and more interesting. It's distanced itself from the mainstream DC universe. Like, you can tell this is an Elseworld story, but it's cherry picking elements from the DCU, which is pretty cool. I think the overall art direction is great in this. Same artist who did Demonites, and I like the fact that we're including Ra's al Ghul, or the League of Assassins, to a point. So, yeah, good stuff. Pick it up. Batman Beyond has been great since it started back up. And probably because Terry is back in the comic, and Terry has been, well, he's Batman Beyond. Hellblazer, issue number 10. I have been very wishy-washy on Hellblazer. This issue has Papa Midnight come in, and I like Papa Midnight. It's one of the more interesting characters that Constantine can have as a foil / villain / reluctant partner. But yeah, this issue is just okay. I'm not feeling the series. I don't know why. Maybe the story doesn't intrigue me. Like, it first started off as a story with Swamp Thing, but it doesn't really have anything to do with Swamp Thing anymore. Now they're looking to find the owner of the shoe, and like there's some mysterious, dark, badass people in the background trying to cause trouble for Constantine. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Constantine fans are liking it, but I'm not feeling this, so I'm going to put a pass on that. Steve Rogers, Captain America, issue number, where is the issue number? 17. So this is continuing the Secret Empire stuff, and unlike Secret Empire, I actually enjoyed this. Secret Empire is okay, and you guys can get my thoughts on it with my reviews that I've done on it. But this kind of was a great issue to make Steve Rogers as a bad guy more believable. There was basically it's a big giant interview with Steve Rogers and this interview woman who, I don't know if she exists in the Marvel Universe beforehand, but they have this talk, and it's a really good talk, and it kind of fleshes out Steve's evil side. So I enjoyed this, and while I do not enjoy the direction of Captain America, I cannot deny that this issue was well written, and definitely recommend picking it up. If you're struggling with Secret Wars as a series, then that's a comic you should pick up. Blue Beetle issue number 9. So Jaime has to go in Ted Kord's armor and basically save New Mexico. I think it's New Mexico they're in. Boy, this series, really the first 5 issues were rough to start off, but the most recent issues have been fun. I don't know why it was a rough start off. I can't explain it, but I'm really enjoying the direction of this series. Plays into a lot of the mythos and lore of Blue Beetle, not only with Ted Kord's Blue Beetle, but with all the Blue Beetles, Ted's, Jaime's, Dan, and it also goes into a lot with Dr. Fate, which is cool too. So this has been a really good issue, and if you want to get into Blue Beetle, this is a good place to get into it. I mean, it's only 9 issues deep, and I recommend picking up the last 4 so that you can read this story arc, but good stuff. Let's talk about another good stuff. Suicide Squad, issue number 18. So, what do you do when you have General Zod and you put a bomb in his head? Well, you don't put a bomb in his head. Zod gets a bomb out, and boy, does he get it out. Holy crap. Like, this is a pretty extreme thing that Zod does, and he just looks like he's just in a bad condition the whole entire time. The art is beautiful in this, and the Suicide Squad versus General Zod is pretty sweet in this. I like how they're so confident, like, we took on the Justice League, and Harley's like, didn't the Justice League beat us? And it's like, well, we could take on this threat. It's just one of them, but this is a really fun issue, and Suicide Squad has been one of the stronger titles that have come out of Rebirth. Pick it up. Especially if you're a Zod fan. Superman, or Action Comics, issue 980. This is continuing the Revenge Squad, the Superman Revenge Squad, which is focused around Cyborg Superman. Superman's starting to get a little bit more wiser to the fact that it's going on. He actually goes up against Cyborg Superman and Eradicator, and we get to see Cyborg Superman's history retold in this. So I'm enjoying Superman ever since the Reborn stuff. Maybe it's just because Superman's finally whole. Maybe finally Superman is his own character again, rather than 2 split characters. But this is taking out elements from both the New 52 and pre-New 52 stuff and kind of working with it and doing it in a good way. So, Action Comics 980, pick it up. Green Lantern, Hal joining the Green Lantern Corps. So this issue was just okay. I love the small stuff in this. I love Hal in this, and I love what happens with Kyle in this. But, I mean, it just seems like such a big threat that was resolved so quickly. It could have done one more issue, in my opinion. It's an okay issue. If you like the story arc, finish it off, but it's not something to write home to, which stinks because this has been one of the strongest titles out of the DCU. Stronger than its Green Lantern counterpart, but it's just that. Just good. Next is Wonder Woman 23. So this is kind of wrapping up a lot of the Year 1 Truth stuff, and we find out the true reason why Diana couldn't remember Themyscira and what's going on with Ares. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I actually dig this resolve for Ares as a character, and I also like the resolve that this has to the overarching stuff that's been going on with Wonder Woman. Could have been handled a little bit better, I think, in general, with going back and forth between Year 1 and Truth, but and I think this is Sharp's last full issue on Wonder Woman, which is sad to see him go because the art that he does, like, just look how badass Ares is there. The art that he does, and I think in particular he does a good job with Wonder Woman. Let me see if I can get a picture of Diana. He does a really good job with her and her costume in the Rebirth, and her costume is really good, to say the least. But I just think, on a whole, the art that he has really helped contribute to this comic. I'm trying to get a good full body shot of Diana. Well, this is a good one with her and her mother, but really good stuff, and I enjoyed this issue. Pick it up. And finally, ending things off with Justice League of America issue number 7. This is kind of a Killer Frost Adam issue, kind of just like a side issue. Nothing to start a big story arc, nor is it resolving one. It's kind of the in-between story. Not gonna lie, I kind of fell asleep while reading this, but I read it at like late at night, so it's not like because it was boring, but it was kind of boring. I didn't get too much out of this. I like the Killer Frost and Black Canary stuff, but that's about it. This was okay issue. I want to see more from the series because it's very back and forth. Some issues are really good, some issues are really meh, some issues are really good, some issues are meh, back and forth. I think they need to throw another team member on there, and I think that team member needs to be a familiar Justice Leaguer. I know they're trying to go the whole no aliens route, no gods among us, although they have Lobo, but maybe like Green Arrow wouldn't be bad to throw on there. Why not? Give Ollie a chance at the Justice League, but that's neither here nor there. Pretty good comic load here. If I had to pick up a pick of the week, probably Suicide Squad, just because of how insane it is. But yeah, that's my comic load for the week, and like I said, I'm going to be a little bit more consistent, so thank you again for being patient with me, guys, and as always, this is Andrew saying peace out for now.